Hey guys, how you doing? It's Finn from New Energy 21. Hope you're all doing all right. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're surviving in your little bubble in the world at the moment. I'm sure a lot of you have found it tough going through what we've gone through. Some of you are still finding it tough. My only advice would be regarding the situation is that keep yourself grounded. I know it must be very worrying for a lot of people with financial worries, worrying about the children, worrying about the future, what is the future. But I've been through all those emotions and that roller coaster, and all I will say is keep yourself grounded and keep yourself in the present moment and never make assumptions. No one ever knows the future. No one ever knows what is going to happen. So, okay, today I want to talk to you about something which has affected me personally during this lockdown period, and it affects my family directly. And it's to do with my 13-year-old daughter, Olivia. And before lockdown and before everything that was going on, she started developing really nasty eczema. And it was actually discoid eczema. Now, for those of you who are parents, you know what I'm talking about when you say you're only as happy as your unhappiest child. And this eczema problem was affecting Olivia a lot. She was getting worried about it. She had a big red patch about 5-6 inches big on her leg, which was red raw. She also started developing it under her arms and the back of her legs. Now, we've had a little bit of eczema when they were young kids, but nothing like this. This was aggressive and it was hideous. The thumbnail I've dedicated to that hideous patch of eczema. So the benefit of lockdown for me was being able to actually pay attention to this. I mean, being a nutritionist and being a hair analysis consultant, I knew the causes of eczema. I knew it could be emotional. I knew it could be due to a zinc deficiency, omega-3 deficiency, lack of water. And so I used lockdown as a way of concentrating on this issue. So I'm going to talk you through, I think there's 5 or 6 things that I did. And I'm pleased to say after 6 weeks, it has gone completely. So I'm going to tell you what I did. So I had a lot more time on my hands, and so it gave me the opportunity to concentrate on what Olivia was putting in her mouth and eating and taking on a daily basis. Now, the first obvious thing is diet. So when Olivia went to school, I mean, people think because I'm a nutritionist and because I do what I do, Olivia's diet is going to be perfect. It's far from true. Children moan, they complain, they don't want this, they don't want that. And so sometimes Olivia's breakfasts were very rushed. So I managed to actually change the routine. So we slowed it all down and I started giving her, well, I advised my wife to stop giving her certain foods that contain gluten, that contain sugar, that contained whatever that was inflammatory for her system. And so because she was home for lunch and obviously for dinner as well, like she always was, it gave me the opportunity to get a lot more vegetables into her. Now, vegetables are very alkaline, they're very healing. And my go-to for a lot of health conditions is eat more vegetables, eat the right type. Stay away from nightshade, but eat lots of green and cruciferous vegetables. And so that was the first change. I gave her soups, I gave her vegetables in all sorts of foods, whether it be a stir fry, whether it be in a healthy curry. I loaded her with cauliflower, broccoli, beans, whatever, and she was really good. And she actually really likes soup, and so I was making soups a lot. So the first change was vegetables. The second change, which is really important because your skin needs to be hydrated at all times, was water intake. And so I made sure that Olivia, she's got this little round pineapple thing for like a drinking unit sort of thing. And I made sure that every time I saw her, that little pineapple with a straw was full. And I said, you know, not just after eating, but, you know, a good hour or 2 after eating, I want that pineapple drunk. And so we increased her water intake to over 1.5 litres a day. And water hydrates the cells. And so eczema can be to do with dehydration. Now, don't forget that you know, I think a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking there's one thing wrong with themselves or their child. And by the way, the advice I'm giving is for adults, not just children. So, I mean, all children are small adults. So I believe with natural healing, you've got to hit it from different angles. You can't just use one thing. So water was the second thing. Make sure your child, look it up. Usually what the NHS is saying, or whatever medical system you're under, is saying, you know, it's good to up it by about half a litre. And so a child realistically should be drinking between 1.5 and 2 litres of water a day. Make sure the water is clean. We've got a filtration system for our house, and so it's filtering out a lot of the crap, you know, toxins, fluoride and calcium, the hard calcium out of the water. So the second change was water. Now the third change arguably was the most profound. Now, what I do for a living is hair mineral analysis, and Olivia hadn't had a test for a long time. And what hair analysis will do, it will enable me to see mineral deficiencies, how stressed she is, mineral deficiencies, how digestion is working, and the presence of toxic metals. Now, I got Olivia's hair tested, I got the results back, and I knew exactly what to give her in the way of food supplements. I saw how tired she'd become at school. I saw how stressed she'd become at school. Her vitality was dropping, and I saw her zinc level was low also. Now, zinc is crucial for the skin. So for me, it was a bit of a eureka moment. I was actually thinking about the hair analysis before the result came back, thinking, I'm sure zinc has something to do with this. So the zinc was important. I started giving her zinc straight away. It has to be the right type of zinc. On hair analysis, the science, you've got different types of zincs depending how tired you are and how stressed you are. So I gave her the right type of zinc. Now, also with hair analysis, while we're talking about supplements, I gave her lots more omega-3 fats, either in a supplement form or I added sardines to her diet. So omega-3s and zinc together, along with B vitamins, along with calcium, magnesium and that sort of thing. It's just having such a multiple wonderful effects on the body. It's calming her down, it's giving her the right type of energy, and it's filling in those deficiencies. So that was probably the most profound thing I did. If you want information on that, it's always below on my videos. I work with UK and European clients. Now, the fourth factor that I really managed to control with Olivia was stress. And so not being at school, not being around her friends, it's a very emotive time for her. She's, you know, just turned 13 years old, going through puberty and that sort of thing, very much aware of herself. And so I managed to teach her how to relax. I managed to frame her thinking, introduce positive feelings, and we got creative as well. And so even though, you know, the corona, you know, I'm not going to say it actually, in fact, the epidemic that's going on at the moment was stressful for a lot of people. For the kids, I didn't want to pass on that stress. And so I managed to get her in here in my office stroke outbuilding. She was drawing, she was kind of breathing properly. I managed to kind of get her to do a little bit of mindfulness and that sort of thing, which she doesn't carry on, don't get me wrong, I had to force that, but at least we did it. And so I do think that helps, because stress is inflammatory. And so a lot of conditions are inflammatory, guys. And so, like, you know, headaches, anxiety, insomnia, a lot of it is to do with an inflammation due to a highly revved up stress system. Digestion, IBS and that sort of thing. A lot of it's inflammatory, too many hormones rushing around the system, trying to keep up with the stress that your mind is generating. So just remember that stress is so important for everyone, for children and adults, and even for babies. So that was the fourth one. Now, the fifth one, we were actually lucky in lockdown because we had good weather initially. And so I managed to get Olivia outside a lot of the time when she wasn't doing her homeschooling, and I managed to get sunlight on her eczema. That's really crucial. Sunlight is antibacterial, antiviral. And so I managed to, you know, pull her little legging up and just got fresh air and sunlight to the area. It's also worth, if your child or you do have eczema on your arm or on your leg, just don't have any tight clothes on it. It's going to create itching. It's going to create an aggravation of the area. The area can't breathe, and so it'll probably bleed more. So get sunlight and fresh air to that area. Now, the last thing I did, number 6, is I actually moisturised it with a organic, healthy moisturising cream. Now, I've done that before with eczema and it didn't work. So I think all the other top 5 suggestions were a lot more effective. And so when it comes to that factor, I think that there's a lot of dirty moisturiser out there as well, the doctor may give you. But again, you can't just do that. You can't just moisturise eczema and expect it to go away. There'll be hormonal changes that need to happen, and there'll be deficiencies that need to be dealt with, and diet. If you're always getting diet wrong, that's going to cause an inflammation and going to cause these issues. So guys, that was 6 things and how I defeated my child's eczema in 6 weeks. And so I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, please leave them below. And always lovely to hear from you. So please do leave me a comment. And if you're interested in what I do, the link is below in the video link. And if you like the video, hit like. And if you really like it, you can share it. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Got loads of cool content coming out all the time. So, okay guys, I hope you're all doing all right. Lots of love to you all, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.